بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. How many of you did your homework?
Inshallah.
Raise your hand if you did your homework.
Tried but could not find the word.
What is the point? We don't do the homework.
If we make the word, and if they don't mean nothing,
That's okay, that's what an English
That's right, exactly.
dictionary is. Or
I make the word, but I don't know it means something. But at least follow the rules. I mean, for now.
Yeah.
For now.
It's basically
Not a problem. You can make the word up. By following the rules, but what does it mean?
Follow the rules. Make the
Yeah,
word.
That's the point.
But look it up. Look it up. Look it up because it's
No, I tried to look it up, but it's not coming exactly same word. They're adding something else, noon or some other thing. It's not exactly those three words and those combinations. Yeah.
How about if we practice with something?
Yeah.
We practice today. We're gonna take a word that almost everybody knows what it means. So web. And
When we clean the board, I think it's
no, that, and then let's see how if we can come up like with 30 different things that you're
I
gonna
found a
learn.
website also.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you've seen this. Corpus.quran.com.
I saw that one, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, I think. I mean, if you just enter all those different, you can choose, like here. Like this one was, and then it gives you all the different places where that word is in the Quran.
Oh, that
Yeah.
yes, I have a book and we have it here. It's,
Right.
that gives you. So you take any word, it will give you. And I actually, believe it or not, I use that when I do khutbah a lot because it's. For instance, if I want to talk about Subhanallah and all the different meanings of Subhanallah that came in the Quran, this takes me to all the ayat that have Subhanallah, and I can know, in what aspect it came in terms of glorifying Allah, when you committed a sin, you do this, you do this, you do that. There is way too many different things, that about 17 different places where Subhanallah comes in a slight different meaning to it. So that helps. What we're trying to do in this is, let's say for instance, we're going to take a very common word that you think is common, and we're going to make so many, the variations and so many different meanings of it. And what we said is the alif, the waw, the ya, right? We said you make shadda, the second letter, you make meme, and if it's a female, it's the ta al-marbuta. So we're gonna take these combinations. Then we also said that you take a 3-letter, if you change the third, there is a meaning that you could tell, or if you change the first, there is a meaning you could tell. Meaning, Arabic language is circle. So if the first two is the same, and they're all different by the third letter, it means something. And we're going to talk about in that family, or if you replace this and keep the last two the same, you get a different family of meaning. So the Arabic language is circular. That's why I say it's tight, it's math. And we're going to come and we're going to see, and we're going to practice so that you can deduce all that knowledge, inshallah. Okay. Let's take a common word. All right. I'm losing the thing. I'm going to do this. All right. Ha. Ba. Da. What does it mean? Habit is the verb. We said we always take back to the verb, past tense, and we said 97% of the time there are 3 letters. So we always bring something to the verb in the past tense, which is called فعل ماضي, right? And we 95% of the time is going to be a 3-letter word. Okay. So here عبد as a past tense, what does she mean? He worshipped, right? We're going to come to really the derivatives and all that stuff later from it. All right, so now we said let's make combinations of these. Okay, make me one.
عبد.
Abada is the verb.
عبد.
Okay, if we put the alif, we said if we put the alif, right? If we put the alif and we make this kasra, it means abid. So here he says means worship, right? Here is what means worship, right? Now that's the kind of person he is. If we do it as a fatha, means it's a abada, it's from the verb. He did a lot more. He almost raised somebody to say, I'm gonna be more abid than you are. You say abid. Like kataba, he wrote kataba, he wrote to somebody a lot. So if it's a fatha, it's a verb that does more. If it's a kasra, it's an adjective that means a lot. But the minute you see the alif being the second character from a 3-letter verb, that means more. Right? We take another one. Okay, if we put the alif at the third, okay, here I'm gonna make it, ibad is a plural, ibadah, because it's a feminine name, means what? To worship, right? Is the noun. Here worshipped as a verb. Here the noun is the root noun. You know what I mean by root noun? Ibadah is worship. It's the act. Like religion is a root noun, right? Science is a root noun, right? To learn is, to study is the verb. English is read. You use different words. Arabic uses the same word. That's what we're learning. But the root noun here, right? Ibadah means the act of worship. We're talking about worship, so you call that ibadah, right? Kitaba is the act, it's the root noun of, just like kataba is the root verb, kitaba is the root noun. Do you understand the root noun meaning? Meaning kitaba, right? That is meaning it's we're talking writing, right? So the difference between writing as a noun from wrote as a verb, right? Right?
Wrote is past tense, right?
Well, I love writing, right? So you understand what I mean now by I love writing, I love worshiping Allah, I love eating, I love drinking, right? So by adding the ing, I made it a noun, right? It's also present tense, I am writing.
Which is the present continuous.
Continuous.
But it's not a verb.
No,
a
it's
noun.
not a verb.
It's a noun.
Right.
Yeah, so that's why I call by a roots noun. Okay. Present continuous noun,
Continuous tense.
right?
That's the way it's written in Arabic and
All right.
in English grammar.
Okay, so whatever it is, that's no. So when we talk about the thing itself, like kitaba, ibadah, right? This is basically you're thinking, and instead of a verb, you're thinking of the noun that describes that verb. That's what like we're calling the root noun.
So in this root now we don't have any alif, right? It's like the ibada.
The alif came here,
In the third one.
the third. So if the
Second
alif
one.
came, we said if the alif comes in the second, it means more. If it comes the third, it turns into the roots now.
Okay.
So, you know, kataba kitab. Kitab is a book. It turned into a noun, right? Kitaba turned into the root noun. You understand the difference? Kitab is a book. Kitaba is the act of writing, right? Ibad, ibadah, okay?
That's abada. You just keep saying ibada, but that's a fatha over
No.
ayn. No?
Now it becomes ibadah.
Okay.
Kataba, kitaba. Right?
Right.
Right? That is, you're turning it into the roots noun. Right?
No.
Okay. Let's take some more.
Is it kasra or fatha in the beginning?
It becomes a kasra. So
Oh,
if it
really?
has, it's a kasra when we add the alif, the third alif.
That's the root.
Alright? So kasra in the beginning.
So if it is a male, then by ta marbuta, that's a female, right?
Yes,
And if it is a male, there is no ta marbuta.
exactly.
Just ibada. No, ibad.
Ibad here
Ibad.
is the plural because the act of ibadah is a name, is a female name. Ibad is the plural of abid.
Okay.
Okay. You also say ibad. Okay. That's the plural of abid.
Okay. Which is the male, right?
And you also say abid. Is
Okay.
also the plural of abid. What is the difference between ibad and abid? Allah used it both ways. Ibad and abid. Here is the plural of abid, and this is the plural of abid.
That's the act and this is the actor.
No, it actually,
My
Allah
son-
only used this for praise, and He used this for both Muslims and non-Muslims. But they're both being plural. وَعِبَادُ الرَّحْمَنِ وَبَشِّرْ عِبَادِ. Right? So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about the good guys, He says عِبَاد. وَمَا رَبُّكَ بِظَلَّامٍ لِلْعَبِيدِ. When He talks in general about people, it's عبيد. But both means plural. Okay, let's take some more. Right? And I want you to write down, so you have to memorize this. Okay? Once again. All right?
So we can add alif before also, right?
A'bud, you're turning it into, okay,
Oh,
that's
what do
pretty
you-
good. All right, let's add the alif first, but
Yeah.
turn it into a hamza. The alif in the beginning, if it means to verb, it's mean me who is doing the act. Mean a'budu ana, that's me. Ta'budu anta, that's you. Na'budu is we're together. So, but if I say a'badu, if the third letter is a fatha, a'budu, third letter is dhamma, it's a verb. A'bad, like akbar, ahlam, ajmal, meaning the most. So a'bad with the fatha means the most abid. I am the a'bad. Allah is the akbar. Kabir is Allah is Allahu Akbar, right? Jameel is beautiful. Ajmal is the most beautiful. So if you put the in the beginning, not meaning that I'm not doing the work, but you're talking in general, that means for the most of that. Okay? Let's see how many different combinations, right? We said we add the M. Ma'bad. What does ma'bad means? Any time you put the M in the beginning,
It's less.
it's the place.
Oh, please.
Kataba is you write. Maktab is the place you write. Akala is food. Ma'kal is the place you eat. Dabaha is to slaughter. Madbah is the place you slaughter it. So Mim is the place.
Place of worship in this case.
Worship. Yes. So it will be like masjid.
Right.
Sajada. Masjid. Right? Sajada is to place sujood. Masjid is the place you do sujood. The meme in the beginning, on the three letter, with the second letter being sakin, always means the place. Sajada, masjid.
So it's like maf'il pattern.
Maf'il, exactly, everything is fa'al. So here we did ma'bad. If we added the waw, ma'bud is the one who is being worshipped.
So what happened when we added wow?
Ma'bud becomes the one who is being worshipped. So you say Allahu ma'budun. Allah is the one who is being
You
worshipped.
did add wow, right?
Meme and waw.
Oh, meme and
Meme and waw. If we doubled the second one, and you say abada, this is the act of is to cause somebody to do it. Meaning, if let's say, you could say to force someone into doing the act, right? For an instance, kataba, kataba. Kataba, I wrote. Kataba means I made you write.
It's a shutdown then?
Shut down that. So if the second letter is a shadda, right? It means he almost caused somebody to do the act. So abada abada. So it's usually a shadda in the Arabic language means more. By the way, you know, it's like doing everybody causes somebody to do it more. If you put the alif after the shadda, abbad, that means just like we said, writer, abid, abbad is a whole lot, like sabr, sabbar, means a lot and a lot and a lot, he does that a lot. So abada, abid, abbad. You see how now the combination. So these things, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, once you apply this combination, is giving you how many meanings? You said like 9 or 10 or more, right? And that is the beauty of what you want to learn. All
What is
right.
the meaning of abada? That's for saying.
Abada is to, all right, let's use the actual word. Do you know what abad derived from, or what is the root word before Islam or before religion? It's to bathe.
To what?
To pave the road.
Okay.
So abada is to pave the road. Actually, let's come up to that meaning. And why abada is to worship Allah, and why it doesn't mean like a slave, right? Abid is a slave, right? Let's talk about that. We said we're gonna use the first and the second, the first letter and the last letter, right? And we're gonna change either the first and we're gonna change either the last. Let's play some games. Abada. Initially, the word we said, is to actually tar and put a spell on the road. Even the first time they knew what tar is. So it's to make the road easy to travel, to make the road be able to get on it and travel on it. Obviously, you pave it, right? And it becomes smooth and all that stuff, right? So then, okay, when you want to travel and you want to make things easier on you, what you're gonna drive a car. Back then they're gonna ride a horse, ride a camel, ride a donkey. So when the camel or the horse or the donkey is trained and you could ride them, they call that mu'abbad. That means he's obedience. He is like a paved road. He's easy to get on. He's easy to travel on. So when the animal becomes trained and obedient, right, it becomes, it's called mu'abbad. means he is trained, he is bathed, he is easy to get onto, right? He is trained, right? So it became somebody like an animal who is trained, who goes where you are, who obeys you and all that. Then it becomes okay, what does the job of the slave to do? Is obey you and do everything you say and go where you go and do everything that you want to do, right? So Abid from the slave, right? Do you see where ibadah was derived from? Obedience. Some, like a paved road. You do what, you don't get me in trouble. You're easy. You do whatever I tell you, right? Like a paved, smooth road. So we said, now the animal becomes obedient, and the human being became totally enslaved and obedient. And let's see why that actually, how the pave of the road, or the acts of the road, why the original was that. Let's play the game by changing either the ain or the dal, right? Now you need to write this. What if I change the dal to a ra? Abara. What? To cross the road. Here the road is paved. Pave the road. Right? Abara is to, right? So you say, I cross the bridge. Abara al-jisr. Right? You understand? Abara means is to cross. So if I cross from here to there, abara. Right?
Kharaja is going out.
Kharaja is to leave.
To leave.
Abara is to cross. When you say cross the road, rather than leave, it's two different English terms. Cross the road, abur.
I'm just telling that word
Yes.
means
To exit.
to exit.
To exit. But to cross the road, so when there is like two sides,
Right.
right? Just like the road has a two side. Abada, slave, is two sides. You're the slave and there is a master. There is almost like two sides to it, right? So you're crossing the road. Abara. Abaqa. Abaqa is that like you have a flower or somebody that has a good odor or perfume, that the nice smell spreads all around. So it's to spread nice smell. You see, all right. How about if I make it abatha? Abatha. It's to play with something to scatter it all around.
So the one before that was nata
Abada, abara, abaqa.
or abaqa. Okay,
Qa.
I got it wrong.
This is that.
This is tha, abatha. So when the kids say there is a group of pins, and the kids comes out and play with it and scatters it all around, that's abatha means. وَمَا خَلَقْنَاكُمْ عَبَثًا. We did not create you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We did not create you in vain. We did not create you playing around. We're just playing around with you by creating you. So al-abath is to scatter things, to play around like a kid playing around, where you scatter things.
Is it like more like aimlessly or something?
Huh?
Like without goal, you are doing something. That
Yes. Yeah, you're playing around. Play around, scattering things. So you see with the pattern here, anything that talks about things spreading, crossing, going around, right? Scattering, okay, is, right? So from a road that you could travel, to a road that you could cross, to a smell that goes around, to things that scatter around. Abala, which is very rarely used word in the Arabic language, means to be fat, to get so big and be fat.
Abala.
Abala,
Abala.
fat and big. So the famous poet in the Arabic language, Antar al-Absi, is the one he used to love. Her name is Abla. And back then they considered the fat woman is more beautiful, because that means be affluent, means rich. And somebody who's well taken care of. She's skinny, she's not a well taken care of person. So they considered that even one poet praised the one he loved, that she walks like a duck, as happy as she is. That was a beauty. You see how things change through nature. A fat woman back then is considered a good attribute of women. Fat men is a bad, it means lazy. So things change, right, in history. So Abla, right? Ya dara Ablata bil Jawai takallam. He calls her Abla, which was really a fat. And calling somebody a fat was not a derogatory.
At that time.
At that time, it was a word of praise.
You call a woman fat this time, you're in trouble.
Actually, when they were doing name tags, and it was FAT, a woman refused to take that. She said, "You can't call me fat. FAT 67, you can't call me fat." They said back then it was actually a word of praise. You're big, you're rich, you're this, right? But you see how by changing. What did we just do? Change the last letter, but they all gave you some kind of a
Similar, not exactly similar.
not exactly, but
Yeah.
and what the intention that we're doing here is we're trying to kind of allow you to guess by coming with a rhyme, with something similar.
I know, but it's kind of a little difficult, but when I see a word, how do I think this is going to be the root word?
Well, first of all, that what comes to is the root. The first is try to take it to the past tense. The 3-letter past tense. That's the first thing you always need to do.
Like farm.
فرح, ذهب, خرج, قتل, ضرب, صعد, right? فعل. Try to find the 3-letter past tense. Like I said, there are 4-letter verbs and 5-letter verbs, but they're
5%.
minority.
5% is
5%. So even if you miss on the 5% and you get the 95%, you're still an A plus student, right? Right?
That's the hope.
That is the hope. So try to find this. All right. Let's play the game where we change this guy.
the last one in here is that you said abbal, right? There is a sukun.
لا عبلة.
No, before that. That's ayn.
عبثة. They're all hard.
There is no sukun in
No,
that.
there is no sukun.
Abala. Okay.
All right.
Mm.
Abla is the name of the woman.
Okay.
Abla is one.
Got it.
Name of the woman.
Abla is to get
To
fat.
get back.
So like
What is the verb?
if we then like all of these, right? Like suppose absa, then it will become the noun in that case.
No, it's all verbs.
No, like these are verbs, right?
They're all verbs. You could check. Sometimes it is the same as the noun. Sometimes you add the alif to make it the noun. So, abatha, it can be both a noun and a verb, while abaqa can only be a verb.
Or not for so these rules like abla is the one who is fat.
Yeah, we added the ta marbuta. We said the ta meant it's the
Oh, you
female,
have it.
Oh,
right? So abla. Okay. Now let's do the opposite. We said we're gonna kind of play the game here, right? Let's change. We said abada is really to give the road, right? So a road that is spoon and leg. Let's change this to sa'ada. Well, that's not a good example here. All right, we'll use a different name for the other exercise. Okay. Let's use another name, a word. And we'll play both games on that word. Question to you. I mean, you guys following? I know it's difficult and it's hard to remember, but that's what the practice is going to do for you. But you gotta do your homework. Once a week, people tell me about Sunday school. Why kids don't learn Arabic? They've been going to Sunday school for so many years. And I said, I'll ask you two questions. One, did you ever practice with them at home? Right? Did you ever encourage them to do on their own a little bit more? If you only come once a week and you forget about what and you never practice and you never do anything with it, okay? Some words, you'll learn something. I mean, something will stick in your mind. But do you really get the language? Do you get the science? I don't care if you're learning math, you're learning physics, if you're learning whatever it is that you're learning once a week, just does not get it, right? So if you don't practice this, and all we're practicing is adding like 5 letters, and if while we are meme, ta, and doubling the first 6, then playing games by changing it, the first letter or the last letter.
One more quick question.
Yes.
For the practicing, doing a little bit of a Google here and there. So do you recommend any?
That
Do
absolutely.
you recommend any particular website or just Google all the time?
Or actually just buy the Arabic English dictionary, and that will do you the same.
Google Translate.
Google Translate, or whatever is convenient for you. The idea is create the word, then look it up, not the other way around.
I see.
Okay, so let's say abada, I made ma'bud. What if you make ma'bid? It doesn't mean anything, you can't find it. But make it, then force yourself to look it up. It will then, I always tell myself, when I write software, I write code, I learn more when I run into a bug. When I write everything and everything is smooth, and those that are software development, okay, I did it right. But sometimes I don't know why it was right, whether, but when there is a bug, and sometimes such an annoying bug, that takes hours and hours to research and investigate. I learn more about the system by finding that bug than anything else, right?
Absolutely.
Those of you software developers, right?
Absolutely.
You know I'm telling the truth, right? So
In the end, you find out it's a spelling mistake.
a cut and paste error. I'm gonna vouch to say 70% of my bugs are cut and paste errors. I honestly. So, but when you say, okay, I'm gonna make ma'bid, and I can't find a meaning for it. I know it doesn't exist, but now it tells me that, yeah, no, it's really some words you can have both wow and yeah, some words that you can have both yeah. So it's gonna teach you a little bit more. It's gonna give you that sense of appreciation. So my recommendation to you is make up the word first based on the rules, then try to see if it's there or not.
Right. Okay.
Okay, so not the opposite, because if you do the opposite, you're really being lazy. You got yourself the answer without looking, so you did not challenge your mind. Challenge your mind first and verify second, right? Not the other way around, right? It's just like when they taught us math, we did not use the calculator till much later in life. You gotta learn how to multiply with your fingers first, right? So make up the word, get in the habit of forming at least taking any 3-letter verb and try to make up 10 words using the 6 combination. And see which words hit and which words doesn't. And the more you train yourself into that, the more your brain becomes accustomed to that. So don't look it up first, do it first, and then look it up second. Okay, let's take a simple word. Jara. Jara. What does jara means? Jara yajri. To run.
Is that Jean?
Jeep. I said, by the way, I'm a chicken scratch type of fryer. Everybody tells me, I used to get this a lot. Are you a doctor? I said, no, I'm not a doctor. I just ride his back. Right? Jara. It's to run. Right? So Jari is the runner. Majra is the place you run. So you guys tell me, okay? So give me, do the combinations. All right? Now let's do the other exercise. Your job is to do the combination, but let's do the exercise. We said jara is to run. We're gonna change the first and the last. Let's change the first. Sarah. We just changed this to a scene. سبحان الذي أسرى بعبده ليلا من المسجد الحرام إلى المسجد الأقصى. Sarah is to travel at night. Jara is to travel. Right? Thara is the earth. Farah is actually to spread a rumor or a lie. Right? إن الذي ومن أظلم ممن افترى على الله كذبا.
Is that fa?
Fa.
Fa.
I'm just changing one letter. That's all I'm doing.
And you said Farah was what? Spreading?
Spread a lie.
Spreading.
Dara, like dara'a, is to actually spread. How about we ara is to take away and make him naked. So you see, by changing the first letter, everything is about running and spreading and all that type of stuff. All right? Let's change the last letter. Okay. Jaraba, jaraha, jarada, jarada, jaras. What else? Let's take that away for jarafa. Okay. What are those and what can we deduce from?
What is the second one?
Jaraba, jaraha, jarada, jaras, jaraf. We said jara is to run. Jarafa is like, if you think of about a caterpillar pushing the earth away, or the river pushing down the rocks away. That's the act of jaraf. What do you call that?
Wave flooding?
Huh? Like, okay. Let's say when we did the grading, right? We had the caterpillars or the bobcat. Let's say we had the bobcat.
Right.
And the bobcat is pushing the earth from one side strongly to the other, right? I'm running hard to the other. Giraffe, I'm pushing something hard to the other side.
Like mowing
Like mowing, like grading,
or
like the river is pushing the earth down. You know what I'm saying? So the difference between me running hard or me pushing something hard.
Okay.
Okay, jaras is a bell.
So, and that one was which word?
Jaraf.
Yeah. Oh, that was
The
fa,
dal.
is it? I thought it's no.
Fa. Actually, there is a noon too. Okay.
What did you say? Jaraha was Jaraha?
Jaraha, I started from the bottom. Jaraha is to wound somebody. Meaning I run, or I did a running jarh. I wounded you,
Oh, okay.
right? I caused the running, right? You understand what I'm talking about?
Right.
A wound, right? All right, jarada is to make something bare, is to strip it out.
That's the dog, right?
Dal,
Dal, okay.
okay. Is to become bare, is to make somebody naked, is to take it away. So
Something similar to.
jarafa, but
Okay.
it's kind of very similar. So you're right. Jaras is actually in the noun is a bell. Jarasa is when something becomes bigger, you know, but from all sides, right, and takes the bell shape, right. So the earth used to be this, right, and I'm running, so it kind of is an expansion. It's almost like you're going from one end to the other. So that, yeah, we said that there is a huge difference between, the side in terms of the alphabet. So since the side is far away from the alif, the meaning becomes a little bit farther and farther away. So the closer the alphabets is, the closer the meaning. Right? For instance, the ba and the ta and the tha, they're close letters in the alphabet. Right? The meme and the noon, there are some of them, the ba and the meme, they're even interchangeable. You could actually take the same word and put a meme or a ba, and that would be accepted. So the closer the letters, the closer the meaning. The farther the letter, the farther the meaning. I said, it's math. And all you gotta do is kind of apply that math. So what we just saw is that by we just learned doing this combination, right? If once, I know it takes time, but once you get that principle, you are going to do what? Expand your vocabulary multiple times and by magnitude. So rather than me just teaching you 5 or 7 or 10 words a class and say memorize this and this what they mean, and come back next week and memorize another 10, here we have actually developed a system where we could from one word maybe come up with 20 or 30.
And also retention. It's going to be so difficult to just give me 10 words and memorize it and come back and this.
Yeah.
Then making and undoing and doing the
And here
words.
you also kind of enjoy, you see the subtle differences in the language, and you also enjoy the math. That Allah has taught us this language. You just can't invent something like this. It's not doable. It's not possible. The human brain just can't invent it this way. It's just, you cannot come up with a language so symmetrical. Okay? I haven't even taught you that some letters by themselves have meaning. Meaning, if I start with a G in the beginning of the word, or I start with a ha, or start with a kha, or start with that, even that letter has a meaning. The place where you speak has a meaning. Meaning, ha comes from here, ha come here.
The makhraj.
That, the makhraj, also has meaning. So there are soft letters in the Arabic language and hard letters in the Arabic language. And for instance, if you take a qaf, qaf is a hard letter. And you're not gonna find rarely any letter in the Arabic language that has a qaf that doesn't have some strength to it. But that would be a harder lesson for us to cover. We're beginning with kind of the easy thing. That's why it's impossible for somebody to invent it. It's just too mathematical that you just can't combine all this as rules in a language. That's, the difference between Arabic and every other language. So once you learn these principles, but these are hard to learn, but you need to master it. And once you master it, you will master not just one, not just two, you'll master a magnitude of 20 or 30 times faster the language. So your job is take a couple of words and apply these rules to it. And just call my bluff, okay? Pick any word and call my bluff. Try to see what happens if you added these 6 contracts, or if you take one word, one letter from the beginning, one word, the letter, and see if I'm right or wrong, right? Test me, right? Or test that logic by trying to find the similarities. What family? But if I took this or I took that, right? You'll notice it's symmetrical, right? Find words, apply these rules to it, and see what happens, right? All right, we got 10 minutes. You guys, time to ask questions.
These 6 rules for this adding all this, does it apply like irrespective of like every third, like a 3-letter verb, or like will that make meaning, or like there will be some verbs which will not actually like carry these rules?
Almost they're universal. Almost universal. Yeah, no, abatha, abith, there's no ibath, right? But almost universal, that at least some combination will, you could apply it to one or the other. At least the alif you could apply, or the y you could apply. Yeah, no. So you should be able, so we said some words you could have both the waw and the ya, and some words you could only have the word, the wa, the waw. Some words you could only have the ya, right? So, but these rules are almost universal, meaning you take these 6, 4 out of the 6 may apply, right? So that's your job, and I don't want to call on you. Obviously you're all adults. I don't want to call on you, say come on to the board and do it, right? Unless you want me to, right? But I don't want to put you on the spot. I don't want to embarrass anybody, right?
But at least you can ask me, read me the letters that you have done. For example, I wrote some, and some of them may not be correct. Like
Okay.
fatha, that you said for last week, right?
Yes,
That's one of the word,
yeah.
right? So, for example, fataha, fateh, does it mean anything?
Yes.
Fataha, there is a kasra in it.
All right.
Fateh,
So
that mean
fatih,
anything?
fataha is to open.
right?
Fatih is the one who opens.
Okay, then. All right, then I get it.
We always said if it's the second letter is alif with the kasra or the third,
Right.
is the one who does it.
Now, what about fatu? Does that mean it?
Fatuh,
Yeah, fatu. No.
No.
So cross it up.
but there is
Then-
maftuh.
Huh?
There is maftuh,
Maftu. I'm
Which
coming to
means
that.
open.
I wrote that.
Okay.
Maftu.
which means it's open. The door is
Open.
the door is open.
Okay. So, all right, then Fatih, does that mean anything? Fa, ta, ya, ha.
Fatih.
Yeah, no. Okay. Then Fattah, there is a
Fattah.
shadda. Yeah.
Yes. Fatah with the alif.
Ba al-fatah.
Huh?
No,
Fattaha.
shadda.
Fataha without the alif means he opened with great force.
With the victory.
No, no, shadda is on the top of ta.
Yes.
Ta.
Fataha.
Right.
All right. Fataha.
Ha, right.
That is a verb. Means he opened with a great force.
Okay. So that's correct.
If you say fatah, means the one that always opens things.
I see. Okay.
Means like I'm a policeman. Like
All right. Get me the other word. Ghafar. So,
Ghafar is to forgive.
yes. Ghafir.
Ghafar is
Yeah.
the forgiving.
Forgiving.
Yes, the one who forgives people.
Right, okay. Forgiving, so that's the word. Ghafur, that's the word.
That
I know.
means he does it a lot.
He forgives a lot.
Yes, that's his adjective.
And
Ghafir, I'm forgiving, but
Right.
maybe through work.
right.
Ghafur is like natural.
Okay. And Ghaffar, that's continuous forgiving.
Yeah.
He does it a lot.
Right, it does it a lot. Okay, so that's correct. Maghfir,
Maghfirah,
firah,
because
okay.
it's a female. It's the
Is
noun.
it a marbuta at the end?
Yeah, ta marbuta, which means we said the roots noun or the noun present continuous, whatever you like to call it.
Right.
You're American. What is the right word?
I'm sorry, today?
What is the right word?
I'm
Root
root
noun
noun's
or-
good enough for me. I don't know the technical grammar.
All right, so
Okay.
I,
But there is.
indulge me. I call it the root noun.
Okay, fine. All right, then Ghifar, is that a word?
Ghifar.
Yeah. There is
Is
ya
actually
between after
there is
the.
no yeah. It's a kasra.
Oh, it's a kasra.
Ghifar.
From the Ghafir, all the words that I made.
Yeah.
So there's a kasra under Ghain.
Great.
Okay.
It is really would be a name of a tribe that is known for maghfirah.
Oh yes, that I know that Ghifar is yeah. What about Ghufran?
Ghufran,
But
that's
that-
accentuation. Like, it's really maghfirah, ghafir. Ghufran is like a lot of maghfirah. Right. It's actually, you could add the noon after the alif to make a lot.
But I didn't follow the rules here though, right?
That's another letter you could add.
You
So
could add.
there is 7 in this case.
That's it
Yeah.
for me.
All right.
Typed it on.
So next week,
Keyboard.com.
we're gonna spend the entire week on each one of you. You need to pick 2 different, I'm not gonna tell you what they are. That's why I'm gonna focus on 2 you choose. Right, so I want each one of you, and this is where I'm gonna put you on the spot. I'm letting you know right now. Each one of you, I'm gonna ask you to come here. Please, to make it easy, I'm gonna ask you to do one word. So each one of you, pick a 3-letter word that we did not discuss. I want you to add the 6 constructs, and then I want you to change the first letter and the last letter, found as many things you could change, either the first or the last. Okay? That's your homework, because once you master this, like I said, and if you've mastered it by class number 3, that's really a very huge accomplishment, mashallah. So that's what your job to do is do that. We want to thank the brother. He sent me immediately that on that same day the video, mashallah. How many of you really watched it? No? You guys did?
Oh yeah.
I watched both of them, both
Both of them, mashallah. You find them helpful.
Absolutely.
Give me feedback.
Absolutely.
What can I do to make things easier for you guys? I need to go do my assembly, but you
Okay.
guys need to
No,
tell
no.
me.
Just one thing, like with the root verb, can you have a cheat sheet like with all the things that we added, like suppose father, like how you add like one letter fa, la, and then like if you have, then it's easy to follow.
I'm telling you how lazy I am.
Or like
I come here and I win the class.
I will then bring some and like if you can share.
It just tells you how lazy I am. I come here and I decide what I want to do.
But of the 6, we can put anywhere, right?
Right.
We can pick one, basically like 6 by 3 in other words.
Yes, and try to see if it makes a real word or not.
Okay.
All right?